Master Marks, and I'm coming back with another motherfucking goddamn live video. And today's video is simply titled The Bloodline, the greatest story ever told. Ever told. Now, I know a lot of people might say that it isn't, or there are reasons why they feel it isn't. But I am going to tell y'all, this arc of the Bloodline has turned into the greatest story ever told. Now, what it comes down to is a lot deeper than what people think it is. Roman has beaten that forced push and the fans hating him. He's beaten, fucking leukemia. He's beaten all of these things. He's the sole survivor of his family. He is the head of the table of his family. In his generation, of course, when it comes to that family that Roman Reigns is a part of, he is the head of it right now. The Usos are contributing factors that are on the side. Solo Sikoa, contributing factor that's on the side. But at the end of the day, the head of the table is Roman Reigns. Now, there are many things to this fucking story, man. The Bloodline story is one of the craziest stories that has ever been told in wrestling. It is. It's not boring. It's not shitty. It's really long-term storytelling. The type of shit that AEW will never fucking do. Tony Khan does not have the mental capacity to come up with a storyline like the Bloodline storyline. He doesn't. But it all falls down to one thing. Roman Reigns is the head of his family, and he is willing to do anything to stay the head of the table. Now, the problem with Roman Reigns being the head of the table is him having that power. We don't necessarily know with that power if he would turn on his own family members to stay the head of the table. And it first started off with Jay. The war that he had with Jay. Then you add Jimmy in there. And then they finally acknowledge him. They both finally acknowledge him. After that, he battles with Kevin Owens. He battles with other people. He battles with Brock. And then, well, this is before Brock, of course, Sami becomes a part of this. Now, Sami Zayn has been an underrated character in this whole Bloodline storyline. He's an underrated character because Sami was a person in WWE that didn't really have a place. He wasn't in the main event scene. He wasn't in the mid-card scene. He really wasn't even a jobber. He was just a guy who had this conspiracy theory that the wrestling company was against him. And they were trying to do things to stop him from being successful. He had that SJW conspiracy theorist storyline going to him, which then he became a part of the Bloodline, honorary Us. It started off first with him having to prove, to Jay that he was who he said he was. There was a lot of mistrust from Jay. Jay didn't believe him. Jay didn't trust him. Even Roman seemed like Roman trusted Sami more than he fucking trusted Jay. And that's his own fucking family. This Bloodline storyline has become the greatest story ever told. So much emotion, so much good promos. It's the best thing on wrestling TV right now. There is nothing else on wrestling TV that's more interesting than the Bloodline storyline. Now, finally, Jay starts to fuck with Sami. He trusts Sami. Him and Sami is road dogs after the fucking War Game shit. Road dogs. But for some reason, Roman starts thinking like, Sami might not be as right as he say he was. Sami seemed like he kind of trying to get my spot. Now, this could all be paranoia from Roman. Because, in a way, he didn't want Jay to fuck with Sami, but he also did want Jay to fuck with Sami. Like, it's so confusing. Like, there are so many different pieces to this whole fucking storyline. It's not as simple as people may look at it. Now, fucking JD from New York, he has no motherfucking common sense, so he won't look at the shit at all. Anyway, he'll just be mad because Ricochet or some fucking jobber didn't get an opportunity to be the heavyweight champion. But this storyline is complex and there's a lot of pieces to it. And there is still things that we don't know. That we don't know what's even going to fucking happen. We got to tune in to fucking watch. This is what keeps wrestling relevant. These storylines that are ongoing storylines that last. That is what keeps wrestling relevant. That is something that Tony Khan needs to take a look at and try to come up with a plan. Like if you were to write a wrestling storyline for a main event champion, the Roman Reigns Bloodline storyline is the greatest story ever fucking that could be told. So now here we are. Jay trusts Sami. Roman kind of looking at Sami like, okay, you didn't cost me this match. You didn't got in the way a little bit. I told you to stay your motherfucking ass back, and you didn't listen. I'm the tribal chief. You go by my command. And of course, I forgot to add in Paul Heyman became a part of the thing. And, you know, he's capped it off and made it even better as well. Shout out to Paul Heyman for just doing Paul Heyman-esque things. But now Roman is starting to look at Sami different. Like, hold on. You say you're a part of the bloodline. We fucked with you. But now I'm kind of starting to think differently. Like, are you really a part of us? And a big part of me feel like at the end of the day, we know that even though like Jey Uso isn't going to be the heavyweight champion, we know that some of the best content and the best portions of the storyline came from just Jay and Roman alone. In the early portion. Early Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. I even think it's before he got his new theme. A lot of the good shit came from Roman and Jay. So what really made Roman stop trusting Sami Zayn? Now, it could be that Sami Zayn made some mistakes. Sami Zayn did some things that he wasn't supposed to be doing. Sami Zayn was just trying to help. But then you also add in Kevin Owens, which is really like almost Sami Zayn's blood. He was in his wedding. He's connected to his children. He's connected to Kevin Owens' family. They came into business together. But also, there is that distrust from Sami and Kevin because Kevin has fucked over Sami too. Kevin Owens turned on Sami the night Sami won the fucking NXT championship. So there's that distrust between Kevin and Sami, but Sami don't want shit to happen to Kevin. And now Roman, who kind of looks at Kevin Owens as a threat, but really doesn't because he knows at the end of the day, the bloodline going to keep him protected. He just like, And then, of course, you know, we add Solo Sikoa, which was a good add-in to that as well because he became the enforcer. He did what he needed to do in NXT, and then he came to the main roster, took his position really well. And I have a lot of respect for Solo Sikoa just from what he's doing. The light amount of shit that he's doing looks like a big amount of shit. But this whole thing with Roman and Sami and Jay is what really questions everything for me. Is Roman feeling like he really can't trust Sami because of Jay, or is it because of Sami's actions? We don't really know. It could be a possibility where this motherfucker Roman Reigns is still feeling like he don't even trust Jay. Do Roman trust any member of the Bloodline? Is my question. Because Sami did a lot for the Bloodline, but it still wasn't enough for Roman. It still wasn't enough. And I mean, this has been the greatest moments in wrestling TV, some of the greatest moments in wrestling TV, because every night that they are on the fucking television in that ring, it's always must-see TV because you never know what's happening. Sami might have Roman breaking character. These motherfuckers might do a trial, which Jay did that whole trial. You know, they did that whole trial, and Jay came to the defense of Sami with his own material, because Sami basically was like, well, shit, motherfucker, I didn't show you that I fuck with you. If you don't think I fuck with you by now, there's nothing else that I can prove to you. There's nothing else I could prove. Then Jay come in and kind of protect Sami, whatever. And Roman let Sami get away until Royal Rumble. He was going to have his greatest test. That shit was all planned by Roman. We don't even know if Roman fuck with anybody. He could not fuck with any member of the Bloodline. It could just be about Roman wanting to be the head of the table and needing minions who are in his family who he feels is beneath him to run behind him. We don't even know. We don't even fucking know. This is why I say this is the greatest story that's ever been told, because we don't even know what the motive of anything is. Roman says about him being the tribal chief, and he doing it for his family, and he doing it because he's the leader. But could it also be that Roman is just doing it for his own ego, to try to prove that he could be better than what people thought he could be? Is he doing it for himself? Is it just because of Roman's ego is why there's a bloodline? Is it just because his ego why Paul Heyman is there? Did he just keep Sami Zayn around just as a distraction to get the true answer out of Jay, to see if Jay really fucked with him? Nobody even thought about that, because that could have been it. Roman could have had Sami around all this time just so Jay, and I know I'm going all the way crazy with this shit, but this story is amazing. Look, it's amazing. It's one of the greatest stories ever told, honestly. Shit, Roman could have trusted fucking Sami just to see if he turned on him at any point in time, what Jay might fucking do. All along, this could really be the fact that Roman know that Jay is his biggest, you know, like the one who could possibly fuck him over. Because if Jay say do something, 9 times out of 10, sooner or later, his brother is going to follow behind him. They're twins. I don't know if Jay's the oldest or not. Y'all tell me in the comment section who is the oldest. I'm not sure. I think it might be Jay, but I could be wrong. We never fucking know. Twins is twins. But all along, he could have just kept Sami Zayn there just to turn on Sami Zayn, which he did at the... Well, it wasn't Sami Zayn, him turning on Sami Zayn, but he caused Sami Zayn. He did so much damage to Sami Zayn's real-life friend, family member, basically, to the point where Sami Zayn just kind of like hit him with the chair. It's almost like he hit him with the chair so he didn't have to hit Kevin with the chair. It's a possibility. But it could have been all along that Roman knew that Sami was going to turn on him because of Kevin, because he knows that Kevin really is like his real family. That's like his real bloodline. No matter how close he got to the bloodline, Kevin is still somebody that Sami Zayn went to the fucking Schmindy League or Schmindy Wrestling, the fucking lame-ass indie ROH shit. He knows that. He knows that Sami and Kevin, they had their rivalry, but also he knows that he could kind of keep him in the bloodline because Sami don't trust Kevin 100%. Because it don't matter how good of a guy Kevin pretend to be, Kevin always will fuck a motherfucker over. I'm not a Kevin Owens fan, but that's what it is. But it could also come down to Roman keeping Sami around, like I said, for him to get cool with Jay. And then when he start, because you notice, he didn't start questioning Sami until Jay became cool with him. It's like Roman seeing more loyalty in Sami than he's seen in, he's seen more loyalty between Sami and Jay other than between him and fucking Jay. That shit was confusing as hell. Basically, Roman started to see that Jay was a little bit more loyal to Sami than to him. That's a possibility. And maybe that's the reason why Roman started seeing shit different. Because, I mean, if they lost to John Cena, at least Roman didn't take the pin. He didn't take the pin. But it could have just been a test just to see if Jay was going to really fuck with them or if he wasn't. If he would dip. If he would get so connected to Sami that he would turn on his own bloodline as well. Because maybe Roman didn't even really think that Jay was fully in it like he said. Because y'all remember there was a point in time where Jay and Roman looked like they was finna beat each other ass in the fucking ring. When Jay was talking all that shit, talking about some bump the tribal chief, and they was looking at each other like they was finna fuck each other up. That's a possibility where Roman was like, hold on, let me see if this motherfucking ass nigga is really fucking with me or not. Let me get cool with Sami for real, and then get him cool with Sami for real, then turn on fucking Sami and see what the fuck Jay do. We don't know. But at the end of the day, now Sami has turned on Roman. Jay left out of the ring. They kept beating Sami ass. And it's so weird just seeing the other Uso, seeing him beat the fuck up Sami Zayn because him and Sami was cool first. But Roman don't have the problem with the other Uso. Is it Jimmy? He don't have a problem with him. He has a problem with Jay. That's the truth. Roman really always had a problem with Jay because he felt like Jay didn't jump on his bandwagon like he wanted him to in the beginning. Jimmy jumped on. Solo jumped on. Shit, even Sami jumped on. Paul jumped on. But Jay fought him the whole entire time at the beginning. So now we at this situation where Jay basically like, man, fuck the bloodline. I'm out this shit. And he done posted some shit on Instagram. We don't know where that's going to go. Man, honestly, this shit can go any way. It could be Jay that's hurt by Sami. It could be Jay that's seen enough from Roman. And he felt like pushing Sami to that level was just too much. We don't fucking know. But this is only the part one. The bloodline. I'm telling you, the bloodline is the greatest story ever told. I don't know in my time living when it comes to wrestling if there will be a story that can never compare to it. I mean, you have storylines like the Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth, the Undertaker kidnapping Stephanie McMahon, and then finding out, it's me, Austin, damn it. Yeah, finding all that shit out. You have those storylines, but this storyline has so many pieces, and they have so many different ways they can go with this. I'm starting to really feel like this is the greatest story that has ever been told. At the end of the day, you know I fuck with the bloodline. Shout out to the motherfucking ones. Put your ones up. Shout out to the tribal motherfucking chief. This has been Master of Marks. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment. Tell us if you hate us. Tell us if you love us. Tell us if you think that Jay is going to go back to the bloodline. Tell us if you think Jay and fucking Roman are going to feud for the title. I don't see that happening. Tell us if you think Sami is going to feud with Roman. I really don't see that happening either. Tell us if you think it's going to be motherfucking the Usos versus motherfucking Sami and Kevin Owens. At the end of the day, this storyline has been one of the greatest storylines ever told. Fuck AEW. Tony Khan, you need to take some lessons and you need to watch this whole storyline over again and maybe you could do this shit yourself. I'm off this bitch.